Hey everyone, it's Brittni Kloey, your best entrepreneur, South Florida entertainer, pole enthusiast, and mentor to a lot of these girls in the business. We're here today at the CWC podcast. I'm about to go over some of the best and the worst of the OnlyFans modeling and OnlyFans content, tips, tricks, and how you can be and do OnlyFans and the good and the bad for it. So y'all tune in. We're about to get started right now. Hit that subscribe button and follow us.
Welcome to the CWC podcast. You saw the intro. My homegirl, Brittni Kloey, is here to join us today. Now, you guys remember that I told you a couple of weeks ago when we did the OnlyFans video, which was a big hit. We appreciate it. We very much appreciate it. I think we're up to 116 subscribers. Several of them came from that particular video, so we appreciate that. Give a shout out to you guys on that. We appreciate that. And now, like I promised, I'm coming back with an actual OnlyFans content provider who is going to give us the devil's in the details, right? So what actually is going on OnlyFans, and how do you make money, and did it evolve during the pandemic? It's blown up to, it's $1 billion industry now. So how did it get there? So what better or how better than to interview an actual OnlyFans content provider? So Brittni and I are friends. We've been friends for a couple of years now. And I don't just have anybody on my show. So if Brittni's here, I co-sign for her content. She's a very entertaining young lady, very fun. Check her out. She's got we're going to share in the description box. Like and subscribe to the channel, by the way. And also she has a podcast as well. She has a podcast. She's got music. She makes music. What else do you do? As a matter of fact, let me shut up and let the pretty woman speak to us. Why don't you give us another just little intro of who you are?
Okay, well, as y'all know, I am Brittni Kloey. I am an entrepreneur. I teach pole. I also recruit and mentor girls in the industry, the business, adult entertainment. I am also a recruiter on OnlyFans. I teach and mentor OnlyFans. I also am a realtor in South Florida, but as you guys know, I prefer my entertainment business as I get more joy and pleasure out of it. And you guys can catch me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm here to provide services to the girls or even guys that are interested in learning the OnlyFans. You guys can go on my website at brittnikloey.com and book me so that for an hour session, I can teach you how you can get all the insights on how you can profit the most to your best ability on OnlyFans, marketing, advertising, digital graphics, how you can, edit your stuff and just the right formats and layouts to help make it stand out so you can make more money, because who doesn't love making more money?
Absolutely. And what's interesting from just that intro is that you can already hear that there's a lot more work involved in OnlyFans than just taking pictures. Like a lot of people hear OnlyFans and they think, oh, it's just pretty girls taking pictures of themselves and they make a whole bunch of money. No, there's a lot of work involved. And the more that, you talk to actual content creators on OnlyFans who tell you like how much work actually goes into it. I mean, it's a full-time job. These girls have to look the part. They have to be the part. They have to stay the part, right? Like you can't fall off. There's new girls coming into the industry every day.
Exactly. So with OnlyFans, the biggest part is if you want to make good money, you can't just be somewhere and just take a video and put it up. I mean, you can make money like that, but when you've got other girls that are taking the time to set up appointments with people, set up lighting, set up everything, and they're doing marketing, advertising, and they're editing everything to a T, they're running it like a business. They have to have time to respond to all these people that are writing them. They have to have, time to be able to make sure that they're reaching out with the content. There's a lot involved. Like me, I like to categorize people into groups too on folders. And so it's a lot. Like, that's why I say I have an hour session in which I sit down and actually go into great detail, because it is so much information that we wouldn't even be able to go through all of it right now.
So what's interesting about that is that I've had, ladies that are a little bit older, right, that have asked me, do you actually know any OnlyFans girls? And what does it take to start an OnlyFans? So as you just heard what she says, she doesn't just produce OnlyFans content for you to consume. If you're a guy that likes the young lady and you'd like to look at, she has that for you. But if you're a woman who wants to start an OnlyFans, she has a mentoring program that you can also...
I mentor men too.
You mentor men too?
I've had men that join and they make money, probably not as much as the women do.
Wow. So So
But
she just
it is-
gave me more content for this particular interview because there's men on OnlyFans. Is that what you're telling
Yep,
me?
absolutely.
Wow.
And I can name a couple too that have made millions on OnlyFans.
What?
It is a surprising, but yes. And it is possible. Of course, it is very rare. And you're going to get the types that, you know, if you're a type of guy that don't like other men buying your content, it's probably something that you shouldn't do. But you have to think about, there's going to be all types of people that's going to see, view, buy. So you got to think about those things. If you're a man and you're producing content, whether you're connecting with other women to make a video to, or whatever it is that your style is, because OnlyFans isn't just like the idea of OnlyFans. People think pornography off rip.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are using OnlyFans to promote their music or to show like tips, and like they have like a reality shows that they're putting on OnlyFans. So you buy the episodes, you know, and it's like, so it depends on what you're doing.
I'm already learning
I will teach y'all.
a lot.
You don't have to do, it doesn't have to be like like for me, it's adult entertainment, like the clubs, the strip clubs, the porn, you know, that's what I focus on. But there can be anything. And I still will teach you how you can set it up, because it doesn't, whatever your content is, doesn't matter. I can help show you what you need to do to provide, you know, the best of the best. And there's a lot of competition out there. A lot of people are doing OnlyFans because they know they can make money off of just simple, literally just with your phone. Like, so
what you're telling me is that basically you're being yourself, and it can come in a variety of, you know, forms. Like you know, like you said, it's not just, and I think that's the key that I took away from what you just said. It's not just explicit content. It's not just, because what people think is, I'm a chick that's playing with myself with toys. Right. And that's the first thing that comes to your mind. Right. Because most guys I talk to, they're like, oh my God, OnlyFans girls are as if they're a different breed or something like that. So interesting to hear that. So what I did do was I wrote down some questions for you, because I know what some of my audience has asked. You know, what would you ask to an OnlyFans girl? Like if you were to interview one, right? People have these questions. And as I pull this up, let me ask you this now, because I know all my guys and audience want to know this. As a content creator on OnlyFans, how's the dating market for you? Like how do you date? Is it like, how does it actually work for a girl who's in your line of work?
So dating is not as easy as it seems. A lot of people that I do interact with or go, you know, spend time with, a lot of people want to be involved in the OnlyFans. They do ask me about my content. There has been people that will steer away. They don't want to be involved. They don't want anything to do with me. And it's okay, because I know what I'm doing and I'm happy with what I'm doing. So I know that there are a lot of people that will support what I'm doing, and those are the people that I'm going to keep around. So the dating scene is not like, you know, whatever. Like I have my people that I go to for different things.
Okay. So it makes sense to me. I get it.
But being a dancer too, like being a stripper always had that. Like, yeah. Can you even hold a relationship?
Which to that, here's what I say is that if you're a guy who's going to get involved with a girl who's in that line of work, you have to take that as part of the deal. You can't come in there and try to change up the scenario and say, well, unless, what I was saying a couple of videos ago, unless you're going to commit to the woman. If you're going to commit to her, that's a different story. Then that changes the whole topic. But if you're just seeing her and it is what it is, you can't ask her to stop what she's doing. So with that being said, I'm going to pivot into OnlyFans. Okay, there was OnlyFans before the pandemic, and there was OnlyFans during the pandemic, and now. It exploded in popularity. In the first video I did, I talked about how much revenue had come in pre-pandemic and then post-pandemic. When did you start your OnlyFans, and have you seen a huge increase, or how is business right now, and how did you kind of get started?
Okay, so I actually pulled it up so I can give you the information, because I actually was on OnlyFans since, let's take a look here, because it's been quite a bit of time. I was on it before the pandemic, and let's see, the very first October 2020 is when I joined. I have two pages. That's the one page. This other page, I joined.
So guys, don't worry. We'll share
2018.
We'll share the links in the description box. So you had one in 2018 and then one in 2020.
Right. So I have two now. So I started the first one in 2018. And then during the pandemic, when things changed for it, I opened up a second one. And my concept for reasons why I did that is I'll explain in more detail when people book me. I'll tell them why I did that. It's part of my marketing.
There'll be a follow-up to this video, and we're going to explore, because everybody's going to want it by popular demand. Questions. We need to hear from Brittni again. What's going on? So don't worry. We're going to follow up with it. So what we're doing here is breaking the ice, and we're getting some good information. So you have 2 channels. You had one in 2018, which was well before the pandemic, and then you have one during the pandemic. So are you doing 2 different types of content on each one?
No. So one is a VIP page where people pay a monthly subscription. The other one is a free page. The free page just allows people who don't want to commit to a monthly subscription to still be able to purchase the content. As well as I market and promote other girls on there as well. So I'll like share their links on that free page so they can get people. So it's more of like just like a way to get people in, you know, and they don't have to go over to the VIP. Some people don't, but VIP definitely is more beneficial because the content I do charge less. And you get more free content, like more stuff that you don't have to pay. You just see it.
All right. So they basically, they get to taste the ice cream for free. And then if they like the flavor, they can buy the whole thing. Okay. It makes perfect sense to me.
Well, they can still buy it there without being committed to a monthly.
Yeah. So they can piecemeal it and say, okay, or I might just want to pay for today.
Right.
Okay. Hey, the options. Hey, makes sense. All right. So now that we know that, let me ask you, so money that you've been making from this now, obviously, during the pandemic, I mean, we've seen the numbers, they went nuts. So what did you see like personally from an increase in what you were making before and then like during the pandemic, what you were making during?
Okay. So in the beginning, when I first opened my OnlyFans, I literally was making not even like $50 a month on it. It was just there. I was not even paying attention to it. It was months that went by. There was time that went by that I didn't even look at it. And then I'd get on it and I'm like, oh, I have $60 in there.
Wow.
But they like after the pandemic happened in 2020 and then like everything started shutting down and all the dancers and everybody, even girls that weren't dancers or entertainers or any of that, like were like, I need to make money. I need to make money. Like everybody was really having a hard time because all the money from the unemployment had not hit yet. The stimulus checks had not hit yet. People were having a hard time. So the girls were coming to me because they knew I'd already been on it. And when it started to get more popular, word just got out. It spread like a disease kind of. It was like everybody was doing it before you know it. And next thing I knew, everybody was coming to me asking me like, I see you doing this. I see you like, help me do this too. And at first, originally during the pandemic, it was only like very basic pole. I was trying to stick to the dancing, you know, like the nude pole work and the pole tricks. And then had girls come over and we'd have a group, and only for them to come over, they'd have to either have a release signed or they would have to be willing to give me their ID or be on OnlyFans to tag them. So it worked out. And then before I knew it, I was teaching and recruiting, and I was actually making 10% of everybody that signed up under my referral link for the first year.
And I remember when when you started yours initially, and I remember actually when you had one of your first students that you were you do like, oh, I'm trying to teach her and show her the ropes. And I didn't know what the heck she was talking about. I was like, what is this OnlyFans thing? I didn't even know what it was, but I remember you talking about it at that time. And now, now that you explain it in more detail, I think back to, when you were kind of starting it and then where you are now, because you've been doing it for a few years. So now so obviously you're making more money. And you've already told us that it's not just sex appeal, because that's what like most people think when they think of OnlyFans. Because we see, if you go on YouTube and you look at girls that are on OnlyFans, right? And you see these girls that are living in Las Vegas that are making $50,000 a month on OnlyFans, right? And these girls are, so people have this concept, okay, so you're taking bathtub photos, you're taking feet pictures. I mean, come on. Hey guys, we have fetishes out here. Let's not act. OnlyFans exists because of us, not because of them. Remember, I've always said that it's because of us, or else.
I've had women purchase my stuff too.
No, I'm sure. I am sure of that. I'm sure of that. But by and large, it's men, right?
Right, absolutely.
So let me ask you this. This is the interesting question. Do you think that, because you have a regular job, right? Most of these girls do. They have a day job. Do you think that if your employer finds out that you're an OnlyFans girl, do you think that that company saying, hey, listen, you're an embarrassment to the company, we have to fire you? Is that fair to you, or what's your stance on that?
So in the beginning, when OnlyFans became, when people started realizing, what it was, the stigma behind it was that it was a pornography site, or like whatever. So when you see a person saying, I'm an OnlyFans model, the first thing you think of is, oh, you're doing dirty, nasty things on there.
Right.
Like whatever. But then like there are nurses, there are doctors, there are people that have actual legit serious jobs that have been fired because of being an OnlyFans model. Regardless at the end of the day, whether or not whatever content they put out there, they're still getting fired just for being an OnlyFans model. My job goes hand in hand with it. So I would never get fired. A lot of my content does come from the club, especially because when I first started OnlyFans, excuse me, I started OnlyFans as a dancer on the pole. I was doing pole content. So because of that, people think, oh, you're selling porn. So I got more into the pornography as time went by. But because of that, more people are like,
yeah. All right. Makes sense. By the way, Brittni dances at Pompano Gold Club. Hey, shout out to Pompano Gold Club. We'll give them a shout out, right? Hey, we'll shout out to you guys, man. That's where she dances at. If you'd like to come see the young lady dance. Hey, she's off chain on the pole. She's off chain. She, like I said, she does pole dance. She's good. I've seen it.
I teach it too.
And she's pole dancing wise, because pole dancing is a specialty. Not every girl can do that. Like people think, oh, she's a dancer, she can pole dance. No. It's a specialty, right?
Yeah, it takes a lot of work. I have a lot of history of, being very athletic. In high school, I did a lot of sports, gymnastics, long distance track, water polo, even like, basketball and soccer and like little things here and there that just help too. And so after graduating school and stuff and then going into like adulthood, everything was easier. Like I started dancing at 18. So it wasn't hard for me to be able to just get up there and just learn like this. And everything I learned by watching and just trying. And I would just catch on.
Nice. Getting some background information here. Now, let me ask you this one. This is interesting because let's say you have daughters. What would you think? Like, what would you say? Let's say that your daughters are 18, 19, 20 years old. They're just going off to college and getting started. And they hear, and right now they're these innocent girls going off to college. And they meet their friend who, now they're working at Starbucks making whatever they make, $15 an hour. They're going to be.
Is that what people at Starbucks are making now?
I think so. I think so. $15 an hour.
Back in the day, it was like $6.
Oh no, but yeah, back in my day, it was $4.
Oh Lord.
Like, hey, all my older folks out there, like, yeah, it was a lot cheaper when we was out there.
Yeah, I remember when you can get like a newspaper for like 25 cents.
Yeah, no, not anymore. It's probably like $7 now. So let me ask you this. So with that being said, let's say that you had daughters, and hey. You see these girls now. These girls mature way faster now. Like these girls are 15, 16, and they already look like they're grown women, right? So they go out here to college, they get out there, and then they find out they're working Starbucks making $15. And then they find out that their friend is doing OnlyFans and making $6,000 a month. How do you expect your daughter who's attractive to not do that?
Not do that, right?
How do you even how do you do that? Can you do that?
You can't. I mean, at the end of the day, if your daughter would be a grown woman, they have to make decisions by themselves. I know that I have kids, I don't have girls, but I think about those things. What if my kids were girls and then they grow up to an age that they're like, they look good, they know they look good and they're going out there and they have a friend who might be either the same age or older than them doing the OnlyFans, making hell of money.
Right.
And they're like, oh my God, I want to do this. So at the end of the day, you know what, you got to I would support my children in anything that they do, as long as it's not going to, hurt them or destroy them in some way or, be, detrimental in any way negative. At the end of the day, it's a confident booster. It is definitely something when you feel like you have security and you're making money, then you're good. And
do you think there's psychological effects, like long term, like to being an entertainer or an influencer, like an OnlyFans girl? Like, do you think that there's psychological effects down the line?
Not psychological. And if there is any, I did be positive. But I don't know, because I could stop doing this and then look back and be like, oh my God. And it could cause like me to feel like I gave more of myself than I wanted to. But I always have this attitude that's like, even if I got to that point, I would know that I was confident in what I did and I'm proud of who I am and I like the way I look. So why not profit off of that? Why not? If you could do something knowing that it would make your life easier in an area. Of course, money don't make life easier, but it would definitely make you feel like you can do a lot more things at ease. So when you know that you have the ability to get on a platform from anywhere, and it takes very minimal editing, marketing, whatever, like if you don't know it, that's why they say get a team, have somebody to help you. Even if you don't got money up front, maybe you could get one person and say, listen, I'll give you 20% of all my earnings, and you know, whatever, you can make an agreement with somebody to help you do a little here, a little there, and you work up in steps, you know? And so because of that, I always feel like I have to be able to be making constant moves on my page to make money. But yeah, girls that are getting into it, new, fresh, I feel like it is influenced by people around them. They're seeing other girls make money. They want to do it too. And a lot of the girls in the club, same thing. They see it. They want to know it. Hey, Brittni, how do I do this? Hey, can you get me on OnlyFans? And that's how I recruited all those girls. Those girls that came to me, I said, you know what? Yeah, I got you. Sign up with this referral link. Then I'd make 10% of all their earnings. And that the better they did, the better I did. So, you know,
create a residual income stream. So see, guys, I'll be honest with you. And I talk to my sister about this all the time. I personally don't have a problem with any of this because I just look at it as another market, another economy that's been created. So people, when there's an economy created, people go and take advantage of the economy and make money. So I'm not going to vilify these girls for doing it. Like some people do. And they say they have all these opinions about these girls. But what you see from Brittni here is that she's totally transparent about what she's doing. She's not pretending. She's not sitting here saying, I don't know what you're talking about. She's telling you exactly what she does. And as long as you're telling and being honest about what you do, I don't think anybody should have a real problem with that because
I don't get a lot of negative feedback. I get a lot of positive. I get a lot of people that support me. I get a lot of people that are like, oh, you know, teach me, or I would do it if I could. I would do it if I looked good.
Some women don't, like, quite frankly, don't have the looks to do it. So they're like, man, dude. And who knows, maybe they do. Like, because guys, you know how we are. We have kind of a fetish for everything. So there's probably, hey, ladies, there's probably a dude out there that would pay you $1 million a month to look at your pictures.
I've seen a lot of girls on OnlyFans that you would never think you'd see them in a regular day and be like, oh, she would never have the confidence to do something like that. But you get on OnlyFans, you'd be like, wow, these girls really have confidence and they're really not the best looking, some of them. And be like, you know what? But I support it. And there is people out there that will like something that maybe the next person might not like. So
absolutely.
There's a market for everything.
So, hey, like I said, there's a market for everything. There's somebody for everybody. There's a guy out there that I tell my sister that all the time. There's a guy out there, no matter what woman it is, there's a guy out there that you're the exact woman that he wants. And if he sees you, he's like, oh boy, I'll spend everything on this girl. There's one article that I'm going to share with you guys, and I'm going to put this link in the description box. I don't like the site. The site is a little bit crazy. I'm just going to share my screen to show you the headline.
Oh,
this particular lady, now this was an article that I saw a while back. I wanted to use this a while back, but if you see on the screen, so this lady was a teacher who discovered OnlyFans, and it was the same scenario that I just told you. Like, she found out the economy got tight, you know, stuff gets tight, bills got to be paid, right? Who knows, you know, you could be in a dire situation. So these girls ask around, hey, you know, any avenues to make money?
Right.
So this specific lady, she ended up getting fired from her job. She's 34 years old. Courtney Tilia is her name. And she's a mother of 4. So as you see on the screen here, you can see she's a little bit, you can see she's a voluptuous lady. You know, like I said, we talk about there's a type for everybody, but there she is. She's at red carpet events and things like that. You know, hey, like I said, there's a lot of men who would spend a whole lot of money to talk to this girl. Now what she has said is that
she needs to sit with me and show me how she made $1 million.
Absolutely. I mean, look, here we go right here. This is the caption I wanted to show you. So it says the bombshell has made the most cash from her VIP page, netting a whopping $380,734 in monthly subscriptions.
Oh my God.
And an additional $164,660 from messaging with fans. Satisfied customers have also donated a total of $50,045 in tips. This is monthly. This is monthly.
I have a huge question though. Does it say anything on there if she's got a team that's helping her, or is she doing this all by herself?
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. I'll share this with you. We'll go over the article and I'll share it in the description box below. Now, obviously, this lady's like in the top probably 1% of, but I've seen numbers like this where there's women like this that are making lots and lots
what's
of money.
that girl's name? Bad Baby?
Oh, yeah.
She's made a lot of money.
We talked about Bad Baby on the first OnlyFans episode. We did a social media clout video talking about Bad Bunny or Bad Baby. I always call her Bad Barbie. I always mess it up. But we talked about her the day that she went live on there. She made like I didn't say almost $1 million in one day or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So there's real money being made by real women out here, and hey, listen. If you want to get into morality situation, you can do that all day. But I don't like to get into the morality of it. I like to look at the reality of it. Like, okay, you can sit up there and wag your finger. Oh, why are you doing this? The fact of the matter is they are doing it. That lady, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, is either her or another one that I looked at is actually married, and her husband is okay with it. I mean, when your chick's bringing home bags of money, you're kind of okay with it. Is right? What I think, right? So,
if I was bringing in $1 million a year on OnlyFans, I think I would have to probably start filing restraining orders.
Yeah. Because if you start making that kind of money, exactly.
Everybody would not probably leave me alone.
No, absolutely no. Because it only takes. I mean, I've seen some girls on here that I'm looking at the girl and I'm like, she's not all that to me, but it doesn't matter. Because she's all that to somebody. She's all that to these guys that are willing to pay all this money to look at her. I mean, there was a girl I saw. She was driving. The girl was like 23. She's driving a McLaren, like a $330,000 vehicle. And they said, "How do you make your money?" This was on the podcast I saw.
Oh yeah.
And the girl basically said, "I'm an OnlyFans girl. This and that." She literally was selling her toenail clippings.
What?
She literally said, "I sell my hair strands and
she sent it to them in the mail."
And she sends it to them in the mail, yeah.
So they okay, she
and
sends
the
it
dude
like that.
and what I was wondering was like, how does this dude know it's her nail clippings? Like,
right?
How do I know it's not her homegirl, right? Like, how do I know that she how do I know it's not her dude? Like, how do I know, right? It's just so I mean, there was a lady selling farts on here, for crying out loud.
No fart sounds?
So no, her actual farts. Like, there was an article.
And like a container.
She was selling them in jars, and dudes were she was making like $50,000 a month doing this.
Wow.
So
I know girls that sell panties, and I never would have been able to do that.
So guys, we're a weird bunch, basically, because the money that's being made out here, there's quite a bit of it being made, and these girls are doing it off of men. There was one other article that I was going to share with you guys that I wanted to bring some more context to this. They removed the article.
Oh,
no worries. I was going to share with you guys. It basically was talking about, here's what I've seen mostly. There's women, nurses and teachers are a growing group of people who have started coming over to the platform. Probably because they're underpaid.
Well, not only that, but the idea of a nurse or a teacher is very sexy.
Exactly. Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, guys, we're like this. Like, we innately think of, when we think of sexy, we think of nurse and teacher, teachers, right?
Yeah. Or schoolgirls.
Yeah. And schoolgirls, right? Like, we're guys. So it made sense. Like, and me and my sister talked about it on the first OnlyFans video. We said, we talked about it. We're like, it makes sense, right? Guys have this kind of school. I mean, you remember the daggone Brittni Spears video where she was a schoolgirl? Like, every dude was googly gaga over her on that. So those themes seem to catch on and make a lot of money.
Right.
So it's very interesting. We're very interesting creatures when it comes to our preference and our type. So before we wrap up, what I wanted to ask you was this. So you've obviously seen a big growth in the number of girls that have come in, because now you're doing a mentor service. You're recruiting, you're doing some teaching. Girls who are coming into the game new, you're helping them out. Do you see this as something that's going to continue to grow, or do you see this as something that's going to go away eventually?
No, it would have died away already.
It would have died already. Okay.
Yeah, it is going to be consistent. It has died a little only because there always was something that's new gets a big boom in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
When it's like, oh my God, and then people are all into it, and they're like, oh, I know I can make money now. Oh, this is so easy. Then everybody's excited about it. So yeah, of course there's going to be that big hump first, and then it's going to come down, and then it kind of stabilizes. So the last year it's been more stable, but for me, since it's been stable, I decided to take it to the next level and start teaching, because a lot of people started coming back. It was more and more so since Well, the pandemic in the beginning, there was a lot of people that were weary about it, but even more so now, so long after that, people are like realizing, like, I should have started this back then. And so that because of that, they're like, oh, and now they're seeing all the articles about teachers and nurses and they're getting fired from their jobs, but they're making millions of dollars. They don't care about their teaching job anymore. They don't care about their nursing job anymore because that $1 million or whatever they're making is better for them because they know they can sit at home, do this little here, make all this money and live life.
Working for themselves is the precipice of it. And I think that that's what, like any content creator, like that's kind of like one of the reasons that we're friendly the way that we are is because we both are content creators in our own way, right? So we want to help each other to succeed. So I get it from a content creator standpoint. And if you're working for yourself, you're very motivated to work for yourself, right? You're super motivated. We're all kind of pre-programmed to work for the company, right? The 9 to 5. But what happened was with the lockdowns and the pandemic, people realized I can get out of that 9 to 5. And I can actually
be financially stable
and still be financially stable. And once people realize that, that's why you see like a lot of these companies, like they're paying $20 an hour for you to work at freaking Home Depot now. Like they're paying a lot of money just to get people to work because a lot of people just walked away and said, hey,
because they know they can get online and do content creation and get paid and not just OnlyFans, but YouTube and TikTok. And now all these platforms, you can make money. You can go live on Instagram as long as you have a certain amount of followers and make money. People can pay for badges and stuff so you can earn. And as you do this and the more you do it, the more you make, the more other people are wanting to do it too. And profit off of it the same way. So then you got all this where people are knowing they don't have to come back to a boss. They don't have to clock in and possibly late and get written up, so there's a lot of things that come with doing these kind of things. The content creation, you do it on your own time at your own pace. And it gives you the ability to explore your artistic side in your own way. Which in a job, if you work in a job, they have it like you have to do this way or do that way, and you got to follow it.
Whereas when you're creating your own content, you do it your way.
Right.
So that's the biggest thing that I get out of it. And like I said,
the freedom to do what you want.
The freedom to do what you want, and if you can make money from it, hey, more power to you.
Why not?
I don't disparage any of that.
I encourage it.
So let me do this real quick with the last couple minutes we have. So Brittni will be back. We're going to do a follow up. We have actually a lot more content coming in this particular sector. Brittni actually has her own. We're not going to reveal it today, but she actually has a different segment of content that we're going to bring in slowly but surely. So I'm going to leave that as a surprise for later on down the line, guys. We're going to bring that out. But actually, go ahead and plug that for me. What was the little handle that you gave me for your? Is it Industry Gone Wild?
Industry Gone Wild.
Okay, so is this a hashtag or?
No, well, Industry Gone Wild, you can look it up on Instagram. Literally just Industry Gone Wild. I have an Instagram page, and then through the Instagram page, you go to the link in the bio, which will take you, I'm not sure, I think it's Spotify, might be Anchor, one of the two. And then I do have only 2 episodes. I haven't done one in a year, but I am revamping it. So in the last couple of months since we've been talking about doing this one, I've actually been thinking about how I can pull it up to the next level for myself too. So my main goal though with that is to get more, it's more based on the adult entertainment business all around, like the good, the bad, the details, events, things that happen, whatever's in the news for adult entertainment or stuff like that.
All right. So stay tuned because we'll have that in a future episode when we bring Brittni back, and we'll follow up with Industry Gone Wild, and we'll break into that. We do everything here on the podcast. Y'all already know. Y'all know how it is on CWC Podcast. Like and subscribe to the channel. If you like Brittni being on the show, like and subscribe. We're going to leave Brittni's handles in the description. Make sure you join. Like I said, this is just a tip of the iceberg. We got a lot more content coming. And before we wrap up, actually, would you like to say anything before we sign off?
Absolutely. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to my OnlyFans. Duh.
There you go. Jump on the OnlyFans, guys. I know some of you guys are like, hey, what's her information?
Yeah.
So
Brittni
is in the description box.
OnlyFans/BRITTNI. That's where you can find me. If you don't want to pay a month subscription, you can find me at Brittni Kloey free.
There you go.
It's BRITTNI free. FRE.
Free. Fellas, and I'm going to hashtag this. She was on Fresh and Fit. So hey, she already, I didn't even know that till she got here tonight. She was like, oh, I was on Fresh Fit. So that's cool. Cause shout out to Fresh and Fit. I listen to you guys, man. Even though you guys are a younger demographic, I listen to y'all. Y'all make me laugh. You're entertaining, man. Keep it up, man. You guys, I love you guys too. Like I said, shout out. We'll hashtag that. She was on there. We'll share that clip too. Why not? So thank you very much for joining us tonight. And more to come.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Subscribe and
Next
like.
time.